Joining me today is Caolan Loughran, set to fight for the Cage Warriors bantamweight title in Rome against Dylan Hazan. Caolan, thank you for your time today. How are you? How are you feeling about the fight being official? Yeah, how are things?
Unbelievable, lad. This is it. This is the big one in Cage Wars fighting for the belt. So now I'm buzzing, uh, full of energy and just ready to go. Happy to have it announced, and because I've known for a while I'm fighting the
Mm,
title, so happy to have it announced, and just feels more real when you get the poster out and start doing stuff like this.
yeah, I was going to ask actually because I reached out to you when I was working for a different publication called Local MMA. I think this must have been
Oh,
maybe January or Feb, and I was like, "Would you like to come on for an interview?" And you were like, "Well, I've got something in the works, but it's not been announced yet." So, how long have you known about the title fight?
well, I knew I was fighting for the title in December of last year, but I thought I was fighting
Right.
Martignoni, obviously. I thought I was fighting Martignoni, but a couple of podcasts away from them energies lads
Mm.
messaging me about doing a podcast, and they're like, I can't, lad. I don't want to do any podcasts until I know what's up. And they goes, "You're becoming too big time." But I just didn't trust myself because I knew I was fighting for the belt, but I wasn't allowed to say. So I was like, I was thinking if they'd asked me, "Are you fighting for a belt?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'll give it away." So that's why I don't no podcasts. But I've known since mid-December that
Right.
I'm fighting for the title, but only maybe 2.5 weeks ago I found out that Martignoni vacated, and fighting Hazan.
What do you make of Martignoni moving down in weight?
Uh, if I walk around 75, 76, 77 kilos, so I could sit here and say Martignoni's a bitch, he doesn't want and all this here shit. But if I'm being honest, me and him are not the same size.
Mm.
He is a flyweight. I said that to I've told him that the whole time. Even before I fought Shanks, I was like, I said I'm fighting a flyweight here, and if I win, I'm fighting a flyweight for the belt. So, actually, if I'm being 100% honest, I would think it's a correct decision for him to go to flyweight. I think he could.
Oh yeah.
He's a better chance of furthering his career at flyweight. If I'm being 100% honest with you.
Mm. In terms of the title shot itself, so you say you've known since December. Does that sort of feel like, I suppose, vindication even for all the time? You know, I've seen in previous interviews that you've spoken about the sacrifice and the hard work that you've put into this sport. Does it feel like vindication for all that you've put into it so far?
Yeah. I mean, I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that nobody trains like me. I dedicate my life to the sport. I just came from a grueling 5-5s between the two Grundys, Jack and Mike,
Mm,
rotating on me. Phenomenal wrestlers. I don't break. I just train every day like a fucking animal, morning and night. Going tonight to wrestle and grapple again because obviously I'm fighting a high level wrestler. I don't break. I put my life in this game. If I thought there was a fucking herb I could take that would help me sleep, if I thought there was a stretch I could do that could make me recover better, I would do it. I do everything I can for this game. So to be in a position that I now it doesn't fit now it's like title as a guy, I know I'm fighting the title. But if you think about if I think back like 6 years ago, I was watching like Nathaniel Wood fight for the Cage Warriors title, and like come through and watch Jack Shore fight in the Cage Warriors title.
mm.
That was always the goal. That was always like not the goal. My goal's obviously UFC champion, but that was like the first pivotal moment. Like as a the from this region, you want to be the Cage Warriors champion. So it is good, but I say when you're in it, again, it's like I'm not even thinking about the belt, I'm thinking about the task in hand more than anything. You know what I mean?
No doubt. What do you make of Dylan Hazan as an opponent? Obviously, yeah, like you say, you thought it was Martignoni when it came out that he vacated. I mean, there are so many names in that Cage Warriors bantamweight division that it could have been someone like Nathan Fletcher was a name that sprang to mind for me. I know you two have
Yeah.
sort of discussed back and forth, or well, been vocal
Yeah.
about a potential fight, but it was Hazan. What do you make of him? And yeah, just talk to me about Dylan Hazan.
He has to be. He's toughest fight in the division, 100%. My
Right.
opinion. I don't like. How would Fletcher beat him? He's not going to take him down and take his back. He's an internationally acclaimed wrestler
Yeah.
who's come in and ragdolled everybody. There's no way, in my opinion, Fletcher would beat him. How would he beat him? How would he beat him? He's not going to take him down. Like, I just sure Fletcher can't throw punches. He has to take him down. He's not going to beat him. In
Hmm.
my opinion, he's toughest fight in the division. in my opinion, it's a mid-level UFC level opponent. 8-0 versus 9-0. And I rate him. If I ask my coach, I've been talking about him since mid-COVID. The first time I seen him when I was outside Cage Warriors and he's fighting like Josh Reed and Scott Malone, these guys.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I don't know if it's like now I'm fighting him, so he's my competitor, or I've just studied him more. But I actually don't rate him as much as I did. I still know he's a tough test. Absolutely, 100%. You're not going to come in from wrestling internationally in Greco and freestyle and be an easy fight, but I think it might look like an easy fight.
All right.
Being honest.
In that sort of vein of conversation, what's the route to victory? How do you get your hand raised?
Well, people will think that I would have to like avoid a takedown and strike, but I don't see it that way at all. The sooner we get into a wrestling exchange for me, the better. Absolutely 100%. And I do not believe there's a man, especially coming from 125, can hold me down. I just had Mike and Jack rotating on me. Jack's a big 80-kilo lightweight. Grundy's obviously a UFC, former UFC fighter, wrestled internationally himself, Commonwealth Games medalist. This kid's going to come up in weight class and fight me, I think. I think the moment he feels my hips, it's going to be like, oh, shit. Because this year's a training camp, 11-week training camp was grueling. Guys coming fresh on me and putting myself in these bad positions. But for me, it's been a 4.5-year training camp because my main training partner has been Mike. Mike's a higher level wrestler on him. Rounds where we're starting here, heads here, on the single, 3, 2, 1, go. Scramble out of them positions. I don't fear this kid one bit. And people like Josh Reed, give him some problems in the feet, to be honest, but it was very much a case of avoid wrestling, avoid contact, tap his leg and run. I gonna walk away from him. I'm gonna march his back against the cage and unload on him. If we start wrestling, we start wrestling. Fucking deadly. Hopefully he shoots in the first 3 seconds because I know his shot's good, but let's say a shot in the 4th minute. Let's say a shot in the 14th minute, in the 19th minute, in the 23rd minute, because I'm going to be there. I am going to fucking be there. And for his style to work, he's not a finisher. Not that I'm saying he can't take me out with a punch. I mean, his striking is absolutely dog shit. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is, I wouldn't even describe it as novice. I'm not even talking shite. He literally closes his eyes and nearly hits the lights. But that's not his game. His game is, no one's been fit to stop his game. But I think after 7 minutes of high-paced scrambles, don't be surprised if I shoot first. High-paced scrambles, then we're back to the feet. I think my MMA game is way too complete. Way too complete. Like his game, I say, it's worked against Scott Reed and Malone, and I don't want to be disrespectful to these guys, but that might work at a lower level. That may work at European, even Cage Warriors level. But I believe I'm world-class, and I believe he's a world-class wrestler. I'm a world-class MMA fighter. And at 135 pounds, I'm a dangerous fucking man. I'm a dangerous fucking man. I know that. I feel that running through me. I'm 100% positive that I could finish any bantamweight alive right now. I'm 100% positive I can finish anyone in the top 5. I'm smart enough to know they can finish me, but I know I can finish them. 100% positive. So I think let's wrestle. Let's get into it. Let's see what your shot's like late, me man. But you better ready for an MMA fight because we're not rocking up in 2 singlets and we're gonna touch hands and shake hands before and after and rest every 30 seconds. We're having a 25-minute MMA fight and I'm fucking preparing for that, let me tell you.
Yeah, I can believe that, especially after the Luke Shanks fight. I think that I've rewatched that today. I did watch it live as well. I mean, I consider Luke Shanks as one of the sort of elite fighters in Cage Warriors, definitely like an upper echelon fighter.
Yeah.
And the performance, obviously, you rock him on the feet and you control him on the ground. That's how you get the finish. Does the win over Luke? I mean, did it give you? I'm sure you know that you can do it in the gym, but does it give you the sort of the mental boost that you know you can go out there and do it in the ring against the best in the world? Or I mean, I know how much confidence you got. Is it one of those where you've got the mentality that results like that were going to be inevitable?
Well, we had trained very specifically for Rook. I think what took me back was how well everything we worked just came into fruition, and I believe it'll be the same now with Dylan. Well, Luke, again, I thought he was a flyweight. I don't.
Yeah.
you don't know until you know. Like, you're confident in the gym and stuff, but until the lights are on, you don't know what you're like at the upper echelons of these levels. I was pretty sure that Luke was. I had him everywhere, but I'd say once you go out and do it, it definitely ups your confidence. I think this guy's a level up from like big time. Like, even in terms of how he trains and how he commits himself. Like, I know at the minute he's out training with Elliot Tapori, and he's been there for the last couple of weeks. He travels over to Alpha Male. He takes it very, very serious. He's a good athlete. But I just think there's levels, and my confidence at the minute is on another level. And you might think that that's like arrogance, anything but. It's like the more you get these wins and the closer your dreams come, it's like the more motivated I come out of them. I swear to God, it's like it almost drives you more. And this guy, my preparation mentally, physically, I'm preparing for, let's say, a very high paced fight to come through fire, to go through the darkness, as by you say, and then break him. I am preparing. I'm preparing hard, but I swear my confidence is on another level. I honestly believe from the bottom of my heart I'm one of the best bantamweights on the planet, inside the UFC or outside the UFC. I swear my life I believe that.
What do you feel about going to Rome? Obviously, his own place. You've done Ireland, you've done the sort of the UK and all that, but the last Cage Warriors Rome event was I thought something really quite special.
Special.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So now you got to go there, main event, 5 rounds.
Yeah. That won't phase me one bit, lad. I'd be a fucking Bond villain over there, no problem. All the better. I hope they boo me. I hope they think that it's going to affect me. And if they do, they don't fucking know who I am. Tell you that much. But no, I've already sold like 55 tickets of bikes coming for Ireland already. So there'll probably be about 1,000, 1,500 odd Italians, but 50, 60 drunk Irishmen at a fight. It might end up even enough. I don't know.
Oh man, I don't doubt that. Yeah. Moving on Twitter, the pinned tweet on your profile, it still reads 2023. I'm going to achieve what I dreamt of in 2013 at UFC. Is that the goal after Cage Warriors Rome?
Yeah, I think the UFC will sign me off this fight. I think at least Contender Series. Which I would do. A lot of people seem to be put off, but I thought I'd back my skills against the finish anyone, so I absolutely would do that. I know it kind of fucks you. People think that it fucks you contractually, but I don't know. I don't think it would take me too long to get a new contract in the UFC, the way I talk and the way I fight. So I would absolutely do that. I think I'm just being 100% honest. I think I'm not lying. I swear on my life, I think everyone after Dylan is a step down in the division. I think it's all a step backwards in terms of skill. I swear on my life, I believe that. And I don't want to take step backs in my career ever. So if I finish, I'm 8-0 with 7 finishes, 3-0, 3 finishes in Cage Wars. He's 9-0. He's a top prospect in Europe I could fight. Let's do it. I think the winner gets the UFC contract. Obviously, there's guys like Paul haven't had it. George Hardwick haven't got it. So maybe they're a bit more reluctant with Cage Wars guys. But I think the way I'm doing it's like I'm going around fucking dishing out noogies on the case. Literally, Luke Shanks literally patted his head. Two fights in a row. Like, I think the way I'm handling Cage Wars guys, I think it'll go again this way. I do believe, like, I know that the UFC have been half watching me. I know that. I know that for a fact. But I think that's. I'll tell you what it is, lad. I just want to fight in the McGregor Chandler card. That's what I want, lad. I'm not even joking. And that's not even like a stupid club pipe dream anymore. That's reality. I'm gonna win the Cage Wars title here in fucking May. Maybe I have to get one in between that. If that's Cage Wars defense, if that's a Contender Series, or that's a debut. Either one of them three sound. But that looks now it's gonna be like November, December time. Because he has to get into the fucking McGregor has to get into the testing pool, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's gonna be end of the year.
End of the year, yeah. There might be Paris card coming up in the summer, possibly. That could be the one.
Is it right? Yeah.
Not yet, but in talks.
Yeah. That's it, lad. I wanna sign the UFC after this fight, at least Contender Series, and I do believe it will be. And as I say with the McGregor Chandler card, that to me, mate, that makes sense. If the
Yeah.
UFC wants to do that, do you know what I mean? Let's get Ian on, let's get Paul on, let's get the thing going. Because I swear to fuck, lad, you put me in that yard, I believe I'd take over the UFC bantamweight in about 11 minutes. I swear on my life, I do. I'd put them all on notice in about 11 minutes. I don't know. So it sounds like a thing to do to me for me.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, like you say, Ian Gary, he's been calling for it, saying it just makes sense to get the Irish lads on the McGregor card.
Absolutely.
So why the hell not? Yeah.
Yeah,
You get some fighters, especially quite a lot of Cage Warriors guys. I remember chatting to Oban Elliott recently. Um,
yeah,
he doesn't watch MMA or the UFC unless it's like something, maybe John Jones coming back and that.
yeah.
One of the things that I like about you, I follow you on Twitter, and that you're very vocal when you're watching an event, especially when the bantamweights are fighting, right? And if you don't rate someone, you don't hold your punches, isn't it? Cody Garbrandt, Cameron Saaiman, Stephen Kozlow.
I want to
Um,
fight Saaiman on the McGregor card. That's who I
is that
want
the
to
one?
fight.
Is it?
I want to fight Cameron Saaiman because I keep getting tagged. I keep getting tagged. But like, if you ask me, Dylan Hazan's a way harder fight for me than him. I think, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
Yeah, well, that was going to be the question. If you could pick a
yeah.
realistic name for the debut, who are you going for? It's Cameron Saaiman, right?
If it could be in he keeps getting on the fucking, he keeps getting on the pay per views. He came through the contender series, but if I could fight in the McGregor card against Cameron Saaiman, fuck me, handy one. I'll run over the top of him. But you're talking about watching, like, I literally, lad, all I watch is MMA. I literally, like, I'll try to put on something else, like say even the Peaky Blinders or something, rewatching a minute. But after about 25 minutes, I end up sticking on Volkanovski training or fucking an interview or a fight or something. And then when I'm watching bantamweights the weekend, I just can't help myself. I have to just wait,
Have you got a favorite fighter to watch competing right now in the pool?
Volkanovski, he's my
Yeah.
favorite. Especially, I honestly doubted him. I thought he didn't have a chance against Islam.
Yep.
That was nothing against him. He was my favorite fighter going into it. I still thought the size and Islam style, I thought he would probably lose. But I don't think he obviously did. But the way he performed and his training camp and his mentality and his well-roundedness, he's got a very similar body type to me for his weight class.
Yeah.
I think he's just on another level, and I love his mentality. It's so relatable. I think you just can't break him. Listen when he's talking about in one of his training blogs. Sorry, he was. Sorry, here. Yeah, one of his training blogs. He was talking about when he's fighting Darren Elkins. He's like, Darren Elkins breaks guys. He goes, but I just don't break. That's what he was saying. Similar to the guy I'm fighting right now, Dylan. He broke the guys he's coming through Cage Wars. They eventually started accepting the takedowns and trying to play different games. But I just won't break. I don't break. Ask anyone who trains me. I don't break. So a Volkanovski is definitely a lot of guys I look up to, and even my own weight class guys I want to fight. Even Piotr lost the weekend. I was like him, but Volk's my favorite. He's setting the standard, I think, at the minute.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Sensational fighter. Let me get a couple of predictions from you then. Obviously, McGregor and Chandler is the one at the top of the card that you want to make your grand entrance to the UFC. How do you see that fight going down?
I think the Mac bangles him. He's too open. He's too open. He's too stupid. Like, I love Michael Chandler, but he's just so dumb. He's so dumb. Like, he's obviously unbelievably explosive. He could knock me clean out. He's an unbelievable NCAA wrestler. But I just look at his fight IQ. Like, the way he turns his back against Charles Oliveira and the way he just swings, it almost looks like he's just trying to get reps in when he's in the cage. He does all his fucking CrossFit. Like, that's how it looks like he fights. I think he's too wide open. He stands like this here. I think Conor McGregor on the pints could knock him out. That's the truth. Regardless of his training, I think McGregor knocks him out.
Yeah. You do get the feeling like he's watched Gladiator one too many times, when he's walking forward with the chin down and and then the second one, this weekend, UFC's back in the UK, Edwards versus Usman 3. And honestly, I've spoken to a lot of fighters about this, and there is like a straight divide between the US guys and the Europeans who's going for Usman and Edwards. But the one that the UK guys keep saying, or European guys keep saying, is, we're not at altitude. Usman's not taking a year out. And there was talk of a broken hand for a while. So yeah, what was your reading that one?
What a fight, just so high level. I can't believe I didn't go. I got like the like the fighter link before. One
Mm.
of my sponsors got me that before. I can't believe I didn't buy tickets.
Ah,
If I'm being honest, I think I'm back in Usman. Like,
right.
what do I know? What does anyone know? But I think he'll just play it ultra safe,
Mm.
wrestle and hold. And I think he again is unbreakable. The way he was fight, like obviously that head kick was, oh my god, that's just MMA, like unbelievable.
Mm.
I even still when I listen to Leon's interview, I still get like like
Yeah,
literally get
yeah.
chills. It's the most motivating thing I've ever seen in my life. But I think Usman will play it ultra safe, and when he does play it ultra safe, I think he's one of the best ever at doing that. I think he's an amazing fighter, has an amazing mentality. But people change, people get old. I have had 3 ACL surgeries, and I know Usman has no ACL.
Mm.
He's 35. He's wrestling a long time. There's a lot of wear on them knees. If you look at that first takedown Leon hit in the first round, it looked like Usman almost went with it because his knee was about to capsize. I don't know what way
Yep.
his body is and what way his mind's going to be. Will he be dippy? Will he be flinching? Is that knockout in the back of his head? It's bound to be. You would think it's bound to be because training's one thing, but competition reps are another thing. Like being under them lights, bare shins, it might come all back to him. But I will probably bet on an Usman decision because I think the way he fights, it's just very, very hard to stop him fighting that way
Yeah,
if he goes. You know what I mean, he's so elite at it.
I hear you. It makes sense. Fascinating fight. Can't wait to see it.
Oh, unbelievable.
Actually, just one then. Ian Gary says a lot how he's not really fussed about fighting in England in the O2 on those London cards.
Uh,
Um, do you have a similar mindset, or would you want to get on one of those should the opportunity arise?
I absolutely would, but
Yeah.
if Dublin was going to come, that would
Well,
be. Do you know what I mean?
of
Like, if the
course.
UFC wanted to put an event in the shed down there and they'll put me in debut on it, I'll jump on it. But them London cards, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one experience to fight in the UFC and the O2. They've become like a pivotal. It's become like a pivotal date for the UFC in the year now.
Yeah.
It's like the Abu Dhabi card and the London card. They're big now. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I absolutely do that. But pay-per-views in Ireland would be the dream. But if the UFC want to put me in that card next year,
Mm.
you wouldn't have to ask me twice.
Yeah. It is incredible the way they've sort of,
Right.
I don't know, the last 2 years, the way it's evolved. And it turns into like a UK, international fight week because you got Cage
Yeah,
Warriors the day
yeah,
before and all.
absolutely. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
at it last year. I went to last
Yeah, of
month's one with
course.
like Deporia and Tom and Pimlet and all. It was great. It was unbelievable. It was
Mm,
unbelievable. Unbelievable, Kieran.
next level. All right. Well, yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for coming on today, mate. I do really appreciate it. Sponsors, shout outs, anything like that, floor is yours.
Absolutely. I've actually got them all sitting in front of me in band here. My main sponsor is Ben Burr Construction. Helped me out more than anything. They've got me 50 Team Loughran jerseys for anyone who wants to come in. We have the animals, Concordia Clinic, keeping me injury free for the way we're training is a task. Let me tell you that much. All the San Francisco lads, classic competitions NA and Finders Keepers. And if anyone wants to sponsor me for the title fight, DM.
Absolutely. Cage Warriors Rome, Caolan Loughran versus Dylan Hazan. Massive fight. Definitely tune in for that one.